local. The company is trying to use the contract against every local in this state. They're not just singling out 1101. As they move us to Brooklyn, they're looking to move Brooklyn people to Nassau. Their whole goal right now is to have one major center in Nassau and have all those people there. And they want to try and show their strength and their power by taking people away from Local 1101, which is and always will be the strongest local in CWA. That's why you need all of us to stand together. Because there's going to be a time where we're going to call in everybody. Not just FIOS, not just OCOs, not just construction, not just Empire City Subway, not just anybody in Verizon, but all of our CWA represented employees in Verizon to stand up to them and show them we will not allow this. You will not try to take over our local. We are 1101 and we will fight. With that being said, are there any questions? Any questions? The microphone is down here at this aisle.
Tony Fiumano, 140 West Street. I have the handout. First question is, when is the board going to produce a budget for 2013? When is the executive board going to produce a budget for 2013?
We produced a budget in December. Now, unfortunately, with Hurricane Sandy, there was some problems. Maybe everybody couldn't make it to the meeting, but we had to have the meeting anyway per our bylaws. So we produced the budget in December of 2012.
When is it going to be provided to the membership?
Anybody who wants it, we actually handed it out to everybody that was at that meeting. But if anybody wants a copy, they're more than welcome to come up to the local. We'll give everybody. We're not hiding anything here with any budget.
I got the handouts here from the meeting, and it's not a projected budget for 2013. It's a comparative budget between your first 9 months and the previous year.
The budget that we instituted was the same budget that was there for 2011. And I don't know if you're talking about the LMDA, I'm not sure, LMRDs or what?
Well, the LM2 just came out Friday. I'm talking about the budget itself. The one that you have to submit the last general membership.
Tony, were you just not involved with this whole meeting where we said we're not going to have internal politics and divisiveness? If you have a problem with the budget, you're more than welcome to come up to the local and we'll sit down. Kevin Conde will sit down with you and explain it to you. And if there's any member, we are transparent. We are not hiding anything. Anybody who wants to see where money is being spent, we will show you. We saved this local close to $800,000 last year compared to the people before us. So anybody who wants to come on,
Keith, there's nothing political about this question. It's a financial question. You've addressed a number of financial matters there. The handout that you handed out at the last meeting, there's a disparity of $156,000 in Department 400.
All right, I'm going to bring up Secretary Treasurer Kevin Conde, because Anthony Fiumano
members on hand. I also said that we had gone back and we showed all the bills, nothing changed on the rent, nothing changed on the other stuff. We showed that we had signed up we talked about other members being signed up. We actually had a net gain of almost 500 people that signed up. We took in more dues. And it's on tape, and I'll show you the videotape. And we said basically, the budget going forward is exactly the same because we have nothing going forward that's going to be different. We didn't have to project most of the CWA as a 4% loss of membership each year. Because a lot of people were in this local not paying dues for years, which we found out in the election when you guys ran against us. We found out they didn't have the right to vote because you didn't have them as members. When we got into office in January, we went around every AT&T store and signed up over 600 new members. We started collecting dues from these people who hadn't paid dues in close to 4 or 5 years. We took in more money, and at the end of that, I said basically, we're going to go with the budget exactly as last year in the rest of that. Here's the money that we spent. And it was on tape. And I went pretty good Julie and I said, does anybody have a question? I said, okay, I guess we should wait until the end of the meeting. There wasn't a question. We went to that point. You can watch, come to the local, we have it on video, there's the audio. And that's what was said. We can go through it again. That's what was spent. It shows what our rent is, what the outstanding bills are, what the income came. Just like the other twos that came out, you see the projected income and all the rest of that. We're not getting that 4% loss. We might have to revise the budget now, and I'm actually working on that in a worst case scenario. I don't want to be a defeatist and say we're not going to hold all of these members at 1101, but we have to be realists and prepare for a worst case scenario. I'm in the process of that. I don't know what else to say on that. And as you're well aware, there have been charges that we didn't present the budget. Angel Feliciano brought us up on charges for not presenting the budget. Apparently he didn't read the Constitution because he sent it to the wrong place.
Well, I just handed you an XYZ bill for Joe McAleer for $6,249 XYZ bill.
And we haven't used XYZ since we've been in office. This is from 2010.
He's working, it's incorrect.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Tony.
This is transparency.
That's 2009 to 2000.
He works for you right now.
Here, Tony. I was the chief steward in the Bronx at the time. If you want to address something with this executive board, make it when we were actually in charge. Not when you and your guys.
Talking about everybody joining together, and we're constantly talking about what the OE board did and what you're doing now. Who gives a shit? The OE board did what they did, you're doing what you're doing now.
Let's go, let's move forward.
So let's talk about moving forward.
Yeah.
As me being one of the 20 guys who transferred, as you remember,
from 153rd.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they can do that, was what I was told. What the hell are we going to do about the members they're trying to transfer to Brooklyn? Instead of rather than just sitting here talking about it, what are we going to do about it?
Well, actually, I think I agree with you 100%. I think I lined it all out already. I think I already said exactly what we're doing. I met with the Manhattan Borough President yesterday with Chris Shelton and Bob Bassis from the National. We're putting something together to force the company.
No, that's all good. I'm not doubting that you're doing that. But I'm talking about our everyday members sitting in their offices and their desks and going out riding these buses and these trucks. We don't know what the hell is going on. All we know that they're trying to move it. What are our responsibilities? What do we do?
Well,
you ask us. We
yeah.
are this local.
Yes, well, actually, we have plans coming forward, but we want to see how it plays out in the next 3 weeks or so with the politicians putting pressure on Verizon before we bring the whole force from Manhattan and the Bronx to attack Verizon, the outside people, construction, and everything like
No,
that.
Kevin, you know what? I'm sorry, man. I'm just going to be honest. Verizon has been kicking us in the ass for the last, I don't know how long.
For the last
They've been
long time.
doing, excuse me, let me finish.
ahead.
They've been doing whatever the hell they wanted to do with us, transferring our members, bringing members in to the people that they transferred to do their job, and we haven't done anything about it. We haven't done anything. They can do it is not a sufficient answer for me. I don't know about anybody else.
I just got to differ with you on one thing. We've had a couple of job actions in the last year to fight Verizon to stop them from doing what they were doing.
But it hasn't happened. They're still doing it. And I'm talking to people that are being transferred in here, and they're telling me the same thing. They're forcing them in here, and they're telling them the same thing. They can do that. They're telling them that, you're telling us that.
Wait a second.
What
I
do we
never.
do?
No. Time out. I never stood up here and said they can do that. I stood up here and said that we're going to fight that. That we're not. I'm not planning for defeat. I'm planning for victory. We're going out there.
So far, I have not seen a plan, and I have not seen a victory.
Well,
Company has been kicking us in the ass for the last year.
I agree with you 100%. Verizon's been kicking our ass for the last 10 years.
So that's my this is my question. All right, well, this is my question. Based on that, what are we going to do about these 400 members that they plan to transfer? I don't want to hear politicians, if we're going here, what are we, the members, what are we going to do? Are we standing to wait for you to come back and say what the politicians say, or are we going to do something?
Well, actually, it's 616 members.
What else?
More than 400. And
Thousands, don't matter.
it's not just local
600,
1101.
600, 1,000
It's local 1101, 1105, and 1109. People being transferred all over. They're not just singling us out, but they're attacking all of us. So right now, via the national, we're going through a political level. They have a 6-month letter. These people cannot be transferred until August. Permanently transferred. So we're doing the first month with the national, going to the politicians. We hired a PR firm to help us with newspaper articles and attacks on Verizon to put pressure on them. We found out through the meetings we had that Verizon got $185 million after 9/11 to maintain 140 West Street and restore it. Then they went and got more money. So now we're finding all this information out through the politicians. I understand what you want to do. I'd love to walk out and say, go screw yourselves, you greedy bastards. But we need a process.
Of course.
We need a
I'm with you
process.
on that. But we're not going to do that, right? We all know we're not going to do that. So what is it that